From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is a severe weather alert.
Now.
Look at that, back on here, literally in a moment's notice, new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for parts of southeastern Madison, a good chunk of Jackson County, far northern Marshall County, and western parts of DeKalb County. So our main focus here is for the severe storm that is on the east side of the Huntsville area. This includes the Maysville area down towards Gurley, the Moontown area, Hampton Cove, McMullen Cove, seeing a lot of heavy rain and lightning right now, maybe some gusty winds. It does look like at least the bulk of the severe part of the storm potentially on the southeastern side of Madison County is east of Owens Crossroads and east of New Hope right now. This is getting very close to the Grant community, and yeah, that is exactly where your chance for some of that significant wind is. And honestly, Chase, that looks like the majority of it is now firmly in Jackson County.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, so right on top of Paint Rock, so Gurley, right along Highway 72, that kind of, where it kind of curves around the little mountain right here on the eastern side of Madison County, going down towards the Paint Rock community. That's exactly where the majority of that wind is. So it does look like, yeah, exactly what he's drawing right here. There's a punch of that rear inflow jet coming right into that. Wow, that's that. I honestly did not see that had that much of a velocity signature on it. I was looking at that storm kind of behind the scenes not that long ago.
It snuck up quick.
Yeah, that snuck up quick, and so the Weather Service quickly popped on that severe thunderstorm warning. So even though it looks like the majority of the severe side is in Jackson County, let's go ahead and do just back it up just a little bit and you can do like a squall track chase and kind of take this towards the east at about 30 miles per hour or so. That's probably a good bet right there. So this is going to impact Woodville, Pleasant Groves, between about now for Woodville, about 323 for Pleasant Groves, Aspel at about 325, Scottsboro 340, Section at 343, Hollywood 347, and Dutton over at 351. All of those communities are east of Madison County, but I do know that some people do watch us out here in parts of Jackson, DeKalb County. So just a heads up for you guys, but it does look like the severe part of this storm is now east of the Madison County area, east of Huntsville, east of Hampton Cove, Owens Crossroads as well, and that is really starting to ramp up. So I would expect that there's probably some damage going on here right along Alabama Highway 65 that runs from about the Paint Rock area all the way up towards Holly Tree. So this is going to go right up towards Pleasant Groves, right up towards Highway 79 that goes towards the Skyline area as it kind of makes its way back down towards Scottsboro. So Aspel, Pleasant Grove, Skyline, maybe up to High Top as well. Watch out, because there's a really good damaging wind signature with this cell that's moving into your area. And like I mentioned, Maysville, Gurley, you're probably seeing some gusty winds right now. The significant side is east of you, but Hampton Cove, Owens Crossroads, you're pretty much in the clear right now. You do have a cell that's off to your southwest, but that is not severe right now. Chase, going to toss it over to you real quick. What are you kind of seeing, at least from this storm and maybe some other storms perspective? Sure. I know we kind of just gave a brief overview, but just kind of what you're seeing.
Oh, I think the evolution of these storms is important, right? Because I think how these storms are evolving is going to tell us how they can kind of evolve in the future, right? Obviously. Yeah. And I think this is sort of, matter of fact, I'll throw it to the radar here. And I think this is sort of the dying stage of it. And ironically, in the dying stages of these storms, they can kind of be the strongest that they have been all day, because they're dumping all their guts out, right? They're getting this huge downburst signature, this big punch behind it, and that's why we have these 55, 60, maybe 65 mile an hour winds out here through Paint Rock. And of course, I do want to mention again a similar thing up here in the northwestern Limestone County, northwestern Madison County, and Lincoln County as well. They're very similar, both of these storms, in a lot of ways. They're kind of messy. They're not exactly the most organized. I'd say the Madison County one is a little more organized than up here, but I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. And of course, you can see off to the north in Jackson County as well. Pretty much all of Jackson County is in a severe thunderstorm warning now. But as far as further west, for example, pretty much no lightning. Look at that there. Like what's here right now in Lawrenceburg, what's over in Loretto, Lexington, Lauderdale County, you're not seeing a lot of lightning, and they just trimmed off the warning in Limestone County, western Limestone County there. So I think these are on the way out, but before they're on their way out, they're making themselves known in a pretty big way, especially with these velocity signatures. You were talking about it earlier, how these updrafts and these downdrafts can pretty much be right on top of each other. And now we're seeing the downdraft take hold and like I said, dump its guts out. It's got a lot of energy up there that it wants to get rid of, and it is getting rid of it pretty quickly. Notice Paint Rock there, about 60 miles an hour up Wouldn't be shocked if trees are coming down,
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's pretty intense out there.
I'll tell you what, we're going to start getting some damage reports and power outages from that, because that is a significant damaging wind signature. Significant, not meaning that it's going to be like 80, 90 mile per hour winds, but significant as in that stands out. That is a damaging wind signature. There is most likely damage being done by these winds, as Chase is kind of popping on here. And that's 65, and what is that, about 2,000 or 1,000 feet?
Oh, no, that's...
or less than that?
That's 800 feet.
800 feet. So that's most likely reaching the ground at 65 miles per hour, because the radar beam is right up here from high top. So that's looking right down into that part of that storm. So that's 65. I would not be shocked if there's 65 to 70 within this wind. So again, this is east of Madison County now, firmly in western Jackson County. Woodville, Paint Rock, heading up towards Pleasant Groves, Holly Tree, Skyline, and maybe even High Top. The Weather Service office in Huntsville has said 2 very strong wind signatures, both in Jackson County. One of them is just up here as Chase kind of pans, going right on top of the radar site right now. And then the other one was that one down south that we were just talking about. So High Top, Jericho, over towards Bass and Anderson here soon. Another damaging wind event possible for you. But again, like Chase said, if we kind of back the view out, that this is really the only storms that we're dealing with that are severe. That one that's in eastern Madison moving out, looks like we've lost that warning, which is good. That one's really, really collapsing. So now, at least in just our area and general area, there's 2 severe thunderstorm warning polygons on the map here. This one is for Franklin County and northern Jackson County, and then that one for far eastern Madison in our viewing area, and then parts of Jackson, Marshall, and DeKalb counties. But everything else, like Chase mentioned, is sub-severe right now. It doesn't mean that it's not causing possible issues. We've seen that there could be maybe 40, 50 mile an hour winds cause some power outages, maybe some trees to come down. The soil, at least deep down in the root system, is still pretty saturated. So it's still kind of in that realm where you might end up getting a 40 to 50 mile an hour gust, and it might be good enough, hits the right spot on that tree, and it pushes it over and knocks it down. So again, even though these are not severe right here, I would definitely want to kind of hunker down for a little bit, let these pass on through. So it's getting close to the I-65 corridor here from Columbia down towards Pulaski, and then these right on 65 moving into the Fayetteville area. So if you are outside or you're even inside, just kind of hunker down, let these storms pass on through. You don't have to take tornado precautions or anything like that, but just, take your standard precautions as you would as a strong storm could be moving into your area. Chase, I'm not seeing anything else that really stands out, and
Likewise.
we've covered that warning pretty well, so I think we're going to be good to kind of toss things back to regular scheduled program. Again, it looks like, I know you see that storm that's still in eastern Madison County, but when you look at the velocity data, all that wind is firmly in Jackson County. It is now northeast of Highway 72, and it's going to go right up basically between Highway 65 and Highway 79 from High Top to Skyline. And honestly, that's a really good damaging wind signature. So if you know anybody, you're watching us in Skyline, in Scottsboro, up towards High Top, go ahead and hunker down, because that is a lot of wind that is heading in your area, and it could be on the order of 60, maybe 70 miles an hour, and that is going to do damage. The question is, how long is it going to last? It's probably not going to last too long, because that's probably the entire storm collapsing right there. And Chase is shaking his head. That's most likely that storm collapsing. So that wind's not going to last for like 30 to 60 minutes. It's going to last probably maybe 10 to 15 minutes longer. And then it's probably below severe limits at that point. So that's where we are right now with that severe thunderstorm warning. Again, Gurley, you're seeing a lot of lightning, hearing a lot of thunder, but the worst winds are east of you. That's moving up towards Skyline and High Top. Chase, you got anything else before we toss things back to programming?
As far as warnings watch is concerned, nothing new over here. I think we're in a good spot as far as the majority of us. I'm panning the radar back here. I would have mentioned Columbia, by the way, because it's just a heck of a downpour there.
Yeah, a lot of lightning with that. Good grief.
Yeah, and I do want to emphasize that the lightning is there, but it's still sub-severe. We're not seeing any indications from any of the radars that this is severe or anything like that. And what just went through here in Lawrenceburg, too, there's like no lightning there pretty much. I mean, there's effectively 1 or 2 strikes. These are on the way out. So I think big picture, in fact, I'll kind of give you the big picture here. Look behind it, a whole lot of nothing. So I think we're good right now as far as what we've talked about so far. and as far as what's coming downstream, or perhaps what isn't, if I may be optimistic a little bit anyways.
Yeah.
But I think we're good.
Hope so. I think, honestly, looking at that model guidance, I mean, that back end, that honestly might be it. So hopefully,
I'm hoping so.
fingers crossed, hopefully that actually gets done. I can actually feel like I'm not yelling anymore, but because, man, that was a very hefty downpour. I felt like I was yelling at you for about 10 minutes there. So again, like Chase said, all these are sub-severe, but they're still packing a little bit of a punch out there. But again, the main severe stuff right now is now moving east of Madison County, firmly into parts of Jackson County, and then could eventually move into parts of western DeKalb County, generally northwest of Fort Payne here very, very soon. All right, with that, we'll go ahead and just toss it back to your regularly scheduled program. So for Chase Wilson, for Chief Meteorologist Fred Gossage, I'm meteorologist Taylor Plott. Stick with us here at the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. We'll keep you advised.
You're watching the Tennessee